Hi, this is Pastoring in the Digital Parish, your resource and point of connection for building a digital ministry strategy and bringing your congregation into the digital age. Happy NaPodPoMo! We've hit a 2-week streak now in daily episodes, and this is part of National Podcast Posts Month. Our NaPodPoMo posts are dedicated to providing relatively quick looks into steps and tips for building your church's digital ministry strategy. I'm Ryan Dunn, fellow digital ministry practitioner and minister of online engagement for United Methodist Communications, and we've been talking about some of the fears people have about doing ministry in digital space over these past couple episodes. And today's hits another big fear, that the digital space can so often feel like a really negative space. Today, we need to address the challenging but inevitable aspect of being an online presence, and that is handling negative interactions. Yeah, believe it or not, even our churches get criticized. Or, sometimes a sermon gets misunderstood or a post text gets taken in a different direction than we intended, or we can get caught in the crossfire of a broader social, political, or denominational debate. And yeah, I'm hitting close to home on that one. It stings a little bit when this stuff happens, because really our intentions are almost always about good stuff, right? We have the best intentions. So why do people get so upset? Well, it can feel really good to fire back with some righteous anger in that case, can't it? However, how we handle these interactions can either escalate the situation or it can turn it into an opportunity for grace and understanding. Remember, when we're responding to negativity, we're not just speaking to that individual commenter, but we're also speaking to our entire online community who are going to see our interactions. First, it's crucial to distinguish between constructive criticism, trolling, and misinformation. Now, constructive criticism, while sometimes hard to hear, can offer valuable insights. There are times when, as a straight, cisgendered, Gen X white guy, I need to be reminded to consider the broader contexts and perspectives of those who have not had either the same privilege or the same exposures that I have. It stings to have that pointed out at some points, but it's needed, especially as I want to get better. And it does little good for me to get defensive, even if, I have to admit, is often my first reaction. So when coming up against some criticism, it's helpful to put aside the defensiveness and ask if there is something that can truly be learned here. Even if the criticizer did not use the best means or the best methods for conveying their criticism, is there still something that needs to be taken away from this interaction? Asking these questions doesn't only open you up and me up for learning a thing or two, it also opens up an opportunity to show the other people who are watching this conversation that we are part of a community that's willing to learn and a community that is open to some questioning and even some critical dissension, which, if we're honest, is a narrative that we need to advance in the church, because the narrative about the church is very much in the opposite direction, not open to questioning or dissension. For constructive criticism, engage with a spirit of openness. Acknowledge the person's concerns and then offer clarity if there's been a misunderstanding. And this can be an opportunity to actually deepen dialogue and show that you do value different perspectives. Yeah, so sometimes the criticism can be helpful. Sometimes, though, the thing we learn is that there are angry, hurting people out there. And they're not just angry with us. They're angry about a whole number of issues. And actually, we can't fix their angry. Sometimes we can only add fire to it. Most often, this anger is expressed in trolling. And trolling is meant to provoke and should often be handled by disengagement. In cases of trolling, it's often best not to engage directly. Trolls thrive on conflict and attention. However, you might consider a general post that reaffirms your church's values and commitment to respectful discourse without directly then responding to the troll. Now, trolling can be spotted through some key characteristics. First, the profile of the commenter. If it's not someone that you're familiar with, if the profile has very limited personal info, if the posting is just full of inflammatory comments, you just might have a troller on your hands. Trolling can often be demeaning in language and will sometimes make personal attacks. Other times, the language will be really vague and lack any kind of constructive basis. Trolls often post the same or similar comments repeatedly, even on a number of posts in succession. So it's like they find your account and then they're like, I'm going to hit this post, I'm going to hit this post, I'm going to hit this post. Whenever I find that to be the case, I just block that person outright. This is not someone who's interested in interaction. They're just interested in agitation. Genuine criticism will often be specific, and it will often invite some clarification. It will sometimes come from a community member who's been around, and therefore, that person actually cares about the improvement of the community. Trolls don't care about the community. They care about an issue, or they care about just being right and showing it. Sometimes both criticism and trolling can be the result of misinformation. And that's our third negative category here. Misinformation, on the other hand, unlike trolling, invites some correction, but needs to be corrected with care and sensitivity. When dealing with misinformation, take time to correct the facts, but do so gently and respectfully. Share sources or direct the individual to some accurate information. This not only helps the person who commented, but also then provides a string for other people to also be informed. People who may be reading this interaction and have been wondering the same thing or are just looking for better information. I normally tend to respond to misinformation by posting a link to something that reflects the accurate info, thereby letting that info make the argument for me. For example, we'll just say there's some misinformation flying around about the United Methodist denomination right now. One piece of misinformation suggests that the UMC is going to alter beliefs about the divinity of Jesus. Now, United Methodist News has done an article on this detailing how this is part of the core doctrine for Methodist belief, meaning the divinity of Jesus is part of the core doctrine. So when someone says something like, you Methodists need to stop trying to make Jesus into just another man, I can respond with a link to a succinct summation of our core beliefs about Jesus. Now, in all cases, over all of this stuff, we want to respond with grace. Our digital responses should mirror the love, patience, and compassion that we strive for in our physical interactions. This approach can turn a negative comment into a testament to our church's character. Additionally, it would probably be good to have a clear policy for handling abusive or harmful comments. Sometimes removal or blocking is necessary to maintain a safe space for your congregation. And I want to lay that out as kind of the end goal. You want to provide a safe space for people to build community. So with that, we want to remember that our responses to negativity build a witness to our faith. It's a chance to demonstrate grace under fire and to model Christ-like behavior in a public forum. Okay, if today's topic has resonated with you, please leave us a rating or review. Your feedback is not only appreciated, but it helps us shape future content. If you have questions or ideas that we can address in the future, hit me up on email. That's digitalparish@umcom.org. You can also join us in the conversation at the Pastoring in the Digital Parish Facebook group. Join in, but no trolling, please. Pastoring in the Digital Parish is brought to you by Resource UMC. That's the online destination for leaders throughout the United Methodist Church. Visit often to find ideas and information and responses to misinformation to inspire United Methodist leaders throughout the connection. Hey, join us again tomorrow. We're going to continue to explore the digital path of ministry. In the meantime, may your online engagements be fruitful, may your patience be plentiful, and may your heart always be aligned with grace. Amen. See you tomorrow.